let's get.
All right, I will call the Plan Commission of August 4th, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Thusius,
Here.
Commissioner Cree,
Here.
Commissioner Hillenbrand,
Here.
Trustee Kettlebeater,
Here.
Brochus, and President Langfeld.
Here. Stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, public comment is an opportunity for anyone to address the Plan Commission on any issue. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes. While the Plan Commission encourages input from residents, it may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noticed on the agenda. Do I have anybody that would like to make, come on up? Get the mic on for us, please.
Sure. Julius Smith, I live at 3061 Creekside Way, Cross Plains. Here to talk about the transportation plan approval that you guys are looking at tonight. About Airport Road and
Well, we're actually not gonna do any approving.
well,
It's discussion.
Discussion.
It'll be a very short one.
okay. Anyways, I think that there's still plenty of problems. I think once you get into the construction of this thing, that's the only way in and out is Airport Road. I don't know if me and Jay live down Creekside and you can see the trucks coming in just for that little project they did at the church there. The trucks are annoying on Airport on that section. There's gonna be a lot more trucks. There's gonna be dirt moving everywhere. It's gonna be a headache. There's some way we gotta get connection to 14. The state may take that away from them. They gotta go through Trans 233 review still. And they could say no access for the frontage they do have. The town has tried, they think they successfully vacated the right of way. I looked into it and there was no public notice that I can see. It needs a class 3 public notice. It's 3 issues of the newspaper. I don't know if you guys saw it in the newspaper. I didn't. You know, you're supposed to pass a resolution and then have to wait 30 days by the chapter 82 discontinuance they did. I'm not sure you can do a chapter 82 discontinuance on a platted way. You might actually have to do chapter 66. So I do them all the time. I don't know. I just really think that I know those residents don't want that road going through. But it's like the only connection to 14. The state can take it away from the landowner themselves for this project. So there's just issues that need to be addressed with that.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, anybody else? Anybody on internet?
It looks like I have Jeff D. Would you like to speak, please?
Good evening. Jeff Davis again. I just want to keep bringing up the potential of your development coming out on the thinnest street in Airport Road. I know you're going to be discussion, no action tonight. I took a look at the traffic survey myself, and there's several points that the survey doesn't really address, and that is the children. The safety issue of the children. Working that road myself, children would come out of the Acre Street, Marvin Court, the areas to the northeast side of the village. They'd end up walking down the street, and kids will be kids. Kids will take the shortest route to Glacier Creek Middle School. They wouldn't walk all the way around on Springfield Road, Church Street, and use the crosswalks or whatever, and the sidewalks that are on P right now. They'd cut through a lot of people's yards getting to Glacier Creek. Well, that's a fact. Kids will be kids. Again, I'm concerned about the houses you're going to put on thinnest. That's going to increase potentially a lot more children, and the safety issue there is just paramount by the number of vehicles that you're putting back out on Airport Road. I see a feasible resolution to it of entering, exiting off of 14. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I don't see anyone else online.
All righty. Go to general business. Number one, approval of the minutes from July 7th, 2025 Plan Commission meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. Number two, approval of the minutes from the July 28th, 2025 Special Plan Commission meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. All right, we're gonna do number three. This is the patio setback requirements. Changing of, two of the language in the ordinance. We'll do the public hearing first. And then we'll actually talk about, the changes. So do I have a motion to open up a public hearing?
Motion to go into public hearing.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Thusius.
Yes.
Commissioner Cree.
Yes.
Commissioner Hillenbrand,
Yes.
Trustee Kettlebeater,
Yes.
President Langfeld.
Yes. All right, we're in public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this, topic? Are they on the internet even joining us?
There are three.
No, the person who wanted this, Jolene and Barry.
I don't think so.
All right, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, I don't know, which one of you?
I'm going Tim. I'm going Tim. Sorry, Seth.
There's a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say. All right, so just to give you a little back on this, there's a family that wants to put a patio and it's a corner lot. So their backyard and their neighbor, side yard is extremely close. It's, I think, maybe 20, 18 feet, something like that. They have a deck off of it, but it's very narrow, so you can't really, because the ordinance is a 10-foot setback, the patio would be like 8 feet or something like that.
It was gonna be like only a foot.
Oh, only a foot, there you go. So it's very narrow.
Yes.
So I went over, looked at it, I gave them the steps that they could do. They chose to do an appeal to the zoning board of appeals.
Mhm.
They went through that process, it was voted down 4-1. So I told them that I would make the changes for them and bring it to public hearing and let the plan commission and the board decide if they want to change the zoning code. The bare minimum I think we should do for sure is relabel the one, because it's under fences. And included in fences are retaining walls and decorative posts. I'm not really sure what that is. So patios are under landscaping features, I believe. So the one that's under fencing, there is no setback. You can put it right on the property line. The other one, you have to meet the setback. So for me, the easy fix, if people are in favor of bringing it up to, is just put it in, add it to the fencing, retaining wall, decorative posts and patios. That's the background, and I made it as easy as possible. It's just moving patio from one section to the next. That really removes the setback.
Mhm.
So that's it. It's not something that I thought was a problem. I was helping this family go through the process and use the democratic process.
Mhm.
So, they're not here, which really surprises me because they were very much interested in this and
Mhm.
really put a lot of pressure. So it is open for discussion. Seth, you said you had some?
So, I like one of the comments
I think that's about one of the concerns about having an impervious surface dumping right into your neighboring property.
Yep, so that was a Vanderwall memo. I don't know if you want to present that, Ben. Ben is filling in for Sonia from Vanderwall, so.
Do you have a,
Go ahead,
I
Al.
think made first, and then we'll get into discussion, or do you just wanna respond to?
However, it makes sense. Filling in for Sonia, she had a baby a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
And,
super.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you get me for the next couple of months. Filled in a couple of different times, so you might be familiar. Carly had asked if I would look at some of the proposed ordinance amendments related to this. And then I just identified a couple of things that could be a concern to me and how we could potentially address it in an alternative way. And that was the memo that was in there. Not suggesting I know nearly as much as you, Jay, in the backstory of what happened here.
Yeah.
I just looked at it from a completely sort of arbitrary lens and saying, you know, what could be a possible issue here that we need to consider as part of the ordinance. But
Yeah, I'm pretty confident the water will not go onto a neighbor's because that's part of what they wanna do. From their lot line to the neighbors, it goes up probably 3 feet. So if you looked at what they were looking to do was build a retaining wall and then put the patio in, and the water runs along the back of their house and then down. I guess I don't know what it looks like, I didn't walk it. I'm pretty sure it just goes down the hill into the street, cause the other house is at a higher elevation. So I don't know, cause their problem now is even the water runs and it ends up going into one of their basement windows. When there's too much water,
Mhm.
which is underneath the deck that's there.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
this is a perfect example of my concerns, because like I said, my concerns weren't with this specific house, because I looked at that too and I said, well, it looks like they're lower than the neighborhood. I'm concerned about the other situation where if we approve this, now people are putting, you know, hard concrete patios right up to their neighbor's lot line, and maybe they're the higher ones, and now all their water runs off directly into their neighbor's yard. So one of the thoughts I had, was just raises a discussion item, was, if, as part of the potential like neighboring agreement, to say at a minimum, any patio that's within the standard setback, which in this case would be like 5 feet or 10 feet, depending on the yard. And, if we went with the pavement setbacks one, could there be a requirement that anything within that standard up to the lot line, if they get approval, maybe it has to be like constructed from impervious surfaces? Like a patio paver, I don't know if that's considered to be a pervious surface, rather than like concrete. But that was an option. Yeah, I do have concerns about people putting a big impervious surface right out their lot line and having all water run right off into their neighbor's yard. So. The overall concern about. It's not as big of a concern for me, but I'm a little concerned about the whole neighboring agreement. It's sort of like, okay, so you get your neighbor that agrees to it now, and then they're gone 6 months later. I know the new owner may, if it's an existing thing, then you say, okay, well, here's, okay, this house next to me has patio right to the line, and they go up on it. But I still have a little bit of concern about basing something down in the agreement with a neighbor that.
No, and that's what I express, even though this neighbor agrees, doesn't mean the next one will, plus. Now what, we've broken our zoning, and if neighbors agree to break the zoning, now you've gotta change the code.
Mhm.
You can't do it by case.
Those are my.
Mhm.
All right, anybody else comment on it? Go ahead, Kevin.
Similarly, changing code, making a big change for an exception seems strange. Like this is one case that we've had many years with this ordinance, and there's one exception that comes in and we want to flip code. That to me as a policy or process doesn't seem right. And secondly, or sort of maybe even conversely, in here it does talk about 10 feet being pretty restrictive from what maybe you've seen in other communities. I'd be more willing to sort of change that part of it in patios as we currently have it, or where patios are currently, then it would be to move patios into this new section.
Unfortunately, this is one of those, unfortunately, one of the people who actually followed the rules and came to us. So I'm suspecting we've got around this village. You'll see a lot of violations that we've done, that is make this right. I'm just saying, I kind of get the frustration that the homeowners would have, but. What do you think?
Like I say, I'm bringing it up because I think
Yeah.
it's how it should be done, and they were pretty adamant. I'm very shocked that they're not here, to be honest with you. But like I say, I agree with both of what you're saying. I would like to change the heading of that to say fences, retaining walls. It took me hours to read through and figure out where this was,
Right.
you know?
Right here, section 84.108.
Yeah. So you can get rid of the patio part, but I still think that covers all of those things. And we've had it on retaining walls before, and it's just not easy to find. So that would be my only thing, but like I say, I don't have a vested interest in this. This was, again, just going through the system.
I'm just curious, the zoning board of appeals said no for 4-1.
Yeah.
Is there any summary of that you would be able to share?
Well, they do very easy. They look at the zoning code, does it meet it or not?
And that was it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
That's
generally what it
ultimately
is.
it.
Our attorney, he actually gave that group kudos because they haven't done any changes, but it's rare. This is only the third meeting since I've been president that they've had. It's not common. Generally, what that would happen is if Carly maybe interpret one of the zoning things differently than how they interpret it, and then they would decide which is the right interpretation, but this is pretty straightforward. It's very clear, you know what I mean?
And they can't approve any kind of variance.
No,
Any kind of variance has to come to us, zoning cannot do that.
no. They're kind of like a court.
Okay,
It's quasi judicial, basically.
and then if they do want variances.
Now, I can tell you this group is pretty good after that. They try to give suggestions to the
Yeah.
person, what they could do.
And the suggestion was to talk to Jay,
Oh!
to be fair.
You know, trying to come up with something that
Well, yeah.
would meet the zoning requirements, so.
Right.
They do, I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah,
They do a
They
pretty.
did a great job. Mhm.
As well.
Yeah, go ahead.
And, is it, what are the, you said 10 is pretty restrictive. I don't know if you wrote in the memo or somebody else wrote, yeah. What are some of the other, setback requirements?
I think, minimally, when I was looking at it, I would have defaulted to start with in saying the pavement setback was how far the patio could be from the property line, which is 5 feet from the side of the rear.
Yeah.
And without diving into that specific section, I would have defaulted in that general space right off the bat. And I think that's a common practice in relationship to requiring some level of setback to try and avoid the issues that we talked about and that are in the memo. But still maintaining less than that 10 because, pavement is not a structure in the sense of a building and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Also to your point, there are smaller lots and, you need a little bit more flexibility in those spaces. So that's where I originally started, was the 5 feet in relationship to that pavement setback and just making it sort of universal across the board.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Mhm.
Well, I would be willing to, from what I heard from Ben and what I'm reading up there, would be willing to do that. I'm not sure I can put this into a motion, but I would be willing to change the setback from 10 to 5 for patios. As noted by Ben here.
Okay. Would you change the title of that?
I would change the title of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I understand. It's all find it quicker. And then I would, but I wouldn't make the exception that unfortunately, the landowners would still, people that brought this up would still not meet their 1 foot requirement.
Well, no, it wasn't needed, but it does give them
Some options that
a little, I mean, it's better than 0, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're giving them
Oh,
something.
yeah, and it's better
We're
than
giving
10.
half of what they're asking for.
Mhm.
So that would keep patios out of this 84.
Yeah, I would eliminate there and then where it's listed, we would put the 5 feet. But I still want the landscaping walls and
Decorative
decorative posts
posts, okay.
stated, so when you look at you can, you don't have to read 280 pages to say, okay, where do we put this?
Sure.
Go ahead, Seth.
So, one comment, what Ben suggested was tying it into the setback. I didn't look through like every zoning district. But for example, SR4, which is the property we're talking about is zoned, a lot of our houses are. It's 5 feet on the side, but actually the pavement setback is still 10 feet from the rear.
There's 10 feet from the street.
It says, at least the table I'm looking at, it's a little version. Like 8429.
I think it says 10 feet.
Well, it says minimum pavement setback, lot line pavements, which are, this is 5 feet from the side or 0 feet for shared driveway, 10 feet from right of way or rear.
Yeah, and this would be the rear.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right, so this is, there's a table like that in every zoning districts, I didn't look through all.
My question then was it, were you bringing it up from in cross planes on, or for pavement? Or are you bringing it up from other communities who have similar setbacks?
I say both in relationship to, what you guys have is one of the codes that we put together, and, we use that 5 foot side and rear and 10 feet from the street setback in a lot of the codes that we write, so that's where I was defaulting to that. I was unaware of Commissioner Johnson pointing that out, and so I do apologize for that error, and I did miss that. 10
No,
feet from
that's
the-
okay, I figured it might be
Yeah.
different, and some may be
Yeah.
5, some might be 10.
So it's mostly that standard, for a lot of districts, as you had mentioned, outside of some of the ones like, downtown along 14, where, there's 0 lot line setbacks, for that denser development. But I would say for the most part, you're probably correct in what that says, right now, so. To make it sort of the most flexible, but fall within the realm of what we're talking about, I think the 5 foot side and rear would accomplish what we were trying to do. And then Carly, on the second page of this memo is a draft of what that language could look like, and I intentionally drafted this way where we could just remove subsection A, which is the neighboring agreement. And you could adopt the patios shall meet the setbacks for pavement, as an alternative, so I think that's, what Kevin had mentioned in relationship to not having that neighbor. Agreement to reduce the standard and instead default to the pavement setbacks, so. If that was a route that you guys wanted to entertain this evening, that is an option that's on the screen, so.
Yeah, I like the thought behind that. I'm just pointing out that
Yes.
in this case, wouldn't actually change the distance to the rear yard.
Right, no, that's good, it's good catch.
But it's, and we're talking about pavement setback, especially if we're talking about impervious surfaces, I think they should be consistent. Now, again, if we're looking at potential exceptions for pervious surfaces, I'd do a little bit more amenable to reduce setbacks. So that you don't just have a solid sheet.
Yeah.
Falling water as your neighbors are.
The issue with permeable pavement is that it might be permeable when you install it, but 5 years with no maintenance, it becomes impervious surface.
Excellent.
And there's no way for the village to maintain a record of that and go out and enforce that.
And I always thought our zoning code said that your water cannot go into your neighbor
That is,
when you make any type of
Right.
change, so I think we're protected there. If you have that patio, it's gotta put the water along your line or into your yard. All right, how do the other people feel? You okay with making that, I don't mind, this brought it up for one reason, but if we find that our ordinances are tighter than what the norm is, I say we're into it, why not?
Yeah.
They agree to reduce it to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is everybody comfortable with that?
And Kevin actually had a motion, didn't you?
No, he was just pointing things out,
Really.
trying to figure out how to.
Oh, so that's what it's something good, I was gonna say.
Well, there might be a correction.
Well, so you're asking for good with changing to 5 or with tying it to the pavement setback?
No, I think I guess I'm hearing two things. One, we're gonna move the setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, and then we're gonna change the heading of that fencing.
Yeah.
That's what am I missing something else?
To do the 10 feet to 5 feet, we would need something new typed up, because it couldn't be what 2 says. 2 says equals. The patio setback has to be the same as the pavement setback. Pavement setback would be 10. Unless we change the table.
Well, there's a table for every zoning district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this would just say you have to, this
So-
becomes tied to the pavement setback based on zoning district, so it could be 10, it could be. It's 5 on the side yard, there may be places where it's 0 or less.
Or 2 just says the patio must, or shall be, or must not be, or must be more than 5 feet from rear.
I know, that's sure, I don't know what's the best way of addressing it.
This is number 2 language that you added, it's really not in there, correct?
Correct.
So if we don't even, it's not even in the current.
No, but I'm trying to figure out what is the solution to what Kevin and
Right.
Seth have been talking about. Do we have to go in and change both of them? Or do we go in and change one and then the other one stays neutral, so it always just refers back? I don't know what the best.
I don't know if we agree. Kevin and I necessarily agree. So
Oh.
it's not- I don't think we're trying to get to the same thing necessarily.
Oh, okay, then I'm missing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the two differences are.
Yeah.
Where it shows 10 feet specific.
This one.
Yeah. Right there in the middle, okay.
So do we make a motion to? approve
Well,
the
let's just figure out what
Okay.
I'm confused now. I thought Kevin and Seth were on the same page, but they say they're on different pages.
Well,
And I,
I think we're related.
okay.
We're the same chapter.
Yeah, I'm lost right now.
Uh,
Can follow.
we have to tie I think, I feel that the patio setback of 5 feet is fine, I'll say that, like
Okay.
5 of them. But tying it to something in zoning is a trick, because we cannot tie it to the driveway setback, which is 10 feet.
It's already in zoning. This is zoning.
But go back to the other page.
Sure.
Right here, we can't tie it back to, the pavement setbacks in each
Mhm.
zoning district. Because that is still 10 feet. So if we use that similar language on 1J2, patio shall meet the setback requirements for pavement setbacks in each district, it would still be 10.
But that language doesn't have to be in there.
But
That's what I was trying to find.
Yeah, where, you know where? the
But
ordinance
I guess
says it's 10
so
feet?
if we change this to 5 feet and then for SR4 to 5 feet, isn't that it? Cause then you have it in both that are consistent
For the.
Yeah,
for patios?
so you're saying
It
it's
says-
SR4 too.
Yeah, for patios of 5 feet.
Right now, in number 1, landscape features shall meet the setback and maximum building heights for accessory structures, that's where the 10 feet is deriving.
So, right now, the patio is considered accessory structure.
Correct.
Yes.
So then you still go into each, so when you go into the table, when you
Yeah,
go to all these
that's where you
tables,
find the
you're
10 foot.
looking for accessory structure, not pavement setback.
As it currently is written.
Correct. And so for accessory
Raise the
structures. It's still.
Which is where I got confused as well, because I looked at the original
Yeah.
pavement setback and was thinking that was the rule before I saw this
No.
as well.
Now I'm figuring
Yeah,
out. what
but
the
they're
difference-
both 10 feet. The patio setback as a landscape feature, as an accessory structure, or a pavement setback, it's still 10 feet
From the rear.
from the
But-
rear.
But okay, I guess help me out and understand. I thought because we clearly set this patio into a landscaping feature.
Yes.
It's no longer part of a pavement feature. So it's not in with sidewalks and driveways, it's in with all the other
Right.
landscape. Is that not the right way of reading this?
It absolutely could distinguish the two by putting it in here. It's just, I reading between the lines, I think what I was trying to accomplish is simplicity and saying. You could only look at one standard and figure out what you
Right.
need to do, Whereas
Okay.
this would require you to go specifically to this section to find that there's a deviation from the
Yeah.
minimum pavement setback for the zoning district, specifically for patio.
Right, but isn't that the whole reason for the landscaping features? Isn't that why we pulled it out? So
And
there's
that's
more,
perfectly fine, we can keep
Okay,
it separate.
okay.
All I was
Yeah.
trying to accomplish
Gotcha.
simplicity, yeah.
okay. Okay,
Mhm.
go ahead, Seth.
So yeah, so I'm looking at, again, at SR four as an example. For accessory building, side setback is currently 10 feet, rear
Yeah.
setback is 10 feet, so it's. But right now, the ordinance states it has to follow the accessory structure setback, and that, so right now, a patio would be 10 feet both rear and side. If we went with the saying it's tied to the pavement setback, then in this zoning category. The rear would still be 10, but the side would go from 10 down to 5. Correct. That's what the pavement says. So then if you wanna make it 5 everywhere. Rear and side, we would have to either change every one of these tables or put in some new language. That specifically says 5 feet for patios.
Right, which could be in number 2, it could just say patios shall meet or shall have a 5-foot rear and side yard
Yeah.
setback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what people think. That seems to be the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
All right, now am I right that we're all on the same page?
He agrees.
Where's that objection? I don't
All
know.
right, well then,
Talking to his.
then I'll make a motion
Okay,
that we change the title of
So fencing.
Section 84.108.
84.108 to include fencing, landscape, walls, decorative posts. Period.
period.
Standards.
Excellent.
And that we go to the section 84.65. J1. And keep it as drafted by our engineer. And for part 2, patios shall be at least 5 feet from the back and side yards.
Yeah,
Rear and side.
All right,
I'll second.
all right. I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's that?
Something online, I heard an eye online.
No, that was just me
Oh.
deciding late.
Oh, okay.
There's just 2 people online.
I know.
All right.
Okay.
I did.
Number 4, discussion
you.
regarding Markstone traffic impact study. Now, this is real simple. What I think, because it's such a complicated issue and there's so many issues, I want to form a subcommittee of the plan commission with people that are experts in this and we get everybody's view. So right now I would have Seth as the chair. He's a traffic engineer. He represents the plan. Cody would represent the board, Parks and Recreation, and because he's a bus driver, the transportation part of it. Matt, the sergeant of police, getting police on there, plus he's on the Dane County Traffic Committee, so he's got ties to Dane County. Bob Green, who is tied to, there's a school district to get them involved. And then Cody said his, the transportation director of the school board would like to at least have some input, and I said, he can be if he wants to, he can come to it. I will appoint, not appoint, I'm gonna try to get someone from the Public Safety Committee on it. And then I'll make an offer for someone, for the developer, if he wants to have someone on it. So my idea is this group would get together, hash through all the issues that have been brought up, give us the data we need, and then give some options with pros and cons. How does that, because otherwise I think we're just gonna go in circles and then we're gonna go in circles at the board. Let's get some experts in a room and get it to where they can dumb it down for all of us, that we actually understand what they're talking about.
Would be in circles or roundabouts?
What's that?
We'd be doing in circles?
Yeah, we want it.
Going around and around.
Is everybody kind of okay with that? Yeah, Kevin.
Yes, it does, and surface sounds good. A couple of questions.
Yeah,
What is their timing and what is the outcome? Like, what are they trying to get to?
the
A
outcome,
recommendation to the plan, what are they trying to get to?
the outcome would be that they would simplify stuff. Give us the data that they think we need to make a decision, have options with pros and cons to it. And it comes back without recommendations, it comes back for us to look at all of them and then have a discussion. But if there's a group that can sort through all this. You hear what's going on, all the different issues. I think I'm encouraged because I think the school district is gonna play a bigger role in this. You know, I've talked to them, nothing's been promised, but, having them involved in the circulation of it. And then us trying to figure out what's better, you know, and what needs to be done, and here's what they see as problems, here are some solutions to each one of these. That's what it is, we need that information. And I think by having them do it, it just brings an expert group in there from all different aspects of it.
And what's their deadline?
I haven't put a deadline because I haven't gotten permission yet. I would like to see it. I've talked with Seth. I'm thinking hopefully 4 or 5 meetings, you know, it would be nice maybe by beginning of next year. You know,
When does, I mean, so we approved and board then sort of like approved the development.
Yep.
Like, the development's gonna move forward, but there's sort of this unknown. How does that all play?
because what we're looking at is from the development all the way to like Military Road. So really, the whole talk about there at Church Street, that's really not, while it has an impact on, potentially on that intersection, that's not part of the development. The whole thing with how they get in and out of Finnis, how they get in and out of the school and back. You know, there's talk about, you know, on Evergreen, if we're coming in that way, have an area where people can drop off kids right there and then go right back up. They don't, you know what I mean? Have a circulation of that. So it's bigger than just looking at the development.
Okay.
And I think I'll get to you, and by bringing in the developer, they may be able to help us do the connection part that's in their part of it.
And then I would actually ask or suggest that we ask for recommendations. Instead of no recommendations,
Oh, okay.
it's gonna come with a laundry list. And we're gonna peel through them. I mean, if they're the experts, I would say,
All right.
to the degree they're willing to make a recommendation, that would be my.
Okay. All right.
Recommendations.
I don't have a problem with that. Judy?
If they don't have to get back to us till next year, can the developer keep going? Like,
Oh, yeah, this is,
so
this
this
is
has nothing
nothing
to
to-
do it. So they can still do their little olive and
Yes.
everything else. So this
Yeah.
has to do with.
the preliminary plot has been approved. What we're looking at is basically outside of that and how it connects
Right.
to the
For
outside.
the next phases. If they.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, you're right on that, but like I say, there's just a lot there, and I just feel like sometimes we spin our wheels and people talking, and I'm not understanding all the aspects of it. So, you know, let's get the experts in, if they wanna come up with recommendations for the different areas or straight, you know, all the recommendations, that's great.
I like the ideas of the pros and cons.
Yeah.
And I have one question, because it was brought up at the last meeting. Did I read the map wrong? Because people are not coming, there's only one exit to Fenn Street, right? Not how somebody said 11
Well,
roads.
no, they're thinking because of the homes that are
Right,
along.
but they're not coming all of them are not.
Yes, I think they are, aren't they? I think some of the driveways are going right on town.
12
Right.
lots on
There will.
Camden
Those aren't
Road.
the
and-
backs of their houses,
No.
those are, okay.
Okay.
Yes, double loaded. Yes.
Yeah. Did you have a comment?
Oh, and the question was, we were talking about timelines. Do we have an idea of how quickly the developer thinks they're coming for like final? Class and all that?
Yeah, they think next
They
meeting.
think next meeting, yeah.
All of that, everything that they have,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because this.
But that's not feasible.
I don't see this possible because they gotta give us 30 days review and we're already 30
Yeah.
days out. So, but anyways, I don't want that to be, I need this group to do what is absolutely the time. If you can get it done in 2 months, All right, great. I just don't want it where we don't do as in-depth, looking at things and stuff like that.
My concern was just. At what point do we, if we're gonna tie the developer to commit them to. Paying for certain improvements, like at Church Street. At the existing intersection, whether it's roundabout traffic or whatever, they're gonna have to pay for that, is that gonna be part of the final plat approved, or like?
No,
what is that-
no, we can't force them to pay that.
Sure.
You can? It's outside of their,
We do all, yeah, absolutely, you can force them to pay for things that they're impacted.
Huh.
If they're.
See, there you go, I didn't know
If they
that.
require, if they're adding so much traffic that it would require us to modify the signal by Walgreens, we could say you have to pay for that improvement.
But you must have to prove it.
Well, that's why they do their studies.
Oh,
That's what the point of the traffic impact studies. Now, again, their recommendation is we wanna put a compact roundabout. And then they said, well, the village previously looked at this, and they don't wanna go with the signal. I said, no, we can't allow them to just say like. The village didn't wanna do a signal before, so we're not gonna do it. They're basically saying we should put a roundabout in, and in my mind, they're saying, okay, if we go with that recommendation, they're gonna pay for that.
oh, I didn't know.
So that's my concern with the timeline, it's just, if they come in and approve, if we approve whatever, are we letting them off the hook for making improvements that we would essentially recommend? I'm not
Well,
saying
here's
they
the
pay
thing.
for everything.
Okay, so here's my thing on that. I will get them when they go to phase 2 then. Because it's gonna be this, they're gonna run the traffic the same way.
Well, phase 2 is gonna be a much bigger impact, but,
Yeah, so I mean, like I say, that's fine. I don't know the inner workings of that, and we can certainly ask Paul.
Yeah.
On Wednesday exactly. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that at all, and I'm not even gonna guess. The point is, I guess, is we get the committee to go, we get there, there's gonna be some really positive things that come out of this. There'll be some corrections for errors that were made earlier, and planning that out, so, I'm encouraged, and I think that's a good group. So we will try to get it going as fast as we can. And you do it as fast as you can. And like I say, if you do it in the thing where people get assignments and come together and pull it together, it might not take that long. I have no idea.
no, I think the first one would, my perspective. What's the data that we need from this? I can already come up with a list of things I want from the school districts.
Okay,
Sure.
good.
Then a list of things, here, we need this, this, and this, here's what we might need from the village, here's what we might need.
Perfect.
Other traffic data. And basically, then everyone goes and gets it, and hopefully next week, okay, now we have it, now we can start.
Okay. That's a good plan to me.
I think the first meeting should be out in front of the school at 7:15.
Don't even give them data, like.
First day of school.
All right, that's all I had on, traffic impact, all right. Number 5, discussion of possible action regarding September Plan Commission meeting date. It's because the Labor Day falls on Monday, we generally do a Tuesday like we did for Memorial Day. I'm thinking we may not have to have a meeting, but if we have to have one, is that Tuesday is what's the logical.
Right.
The first day of school,
Oh, it is the first day of
I'll
school?
be dead.
Tuesday is.
I will be gone that day at another meeting.
Okay.
For the state.
Okay. Well, let's just see what the agenda has, and if we can't get it, we need to have one, we can't get a quorum, we'll try to set something out also.
Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm looking on the horizon, I don't see anything that's come up, I just don't believe they can be coming back with.
I don't think they can pull it together even I'm just thinking like the 8th or something. I don't know that that's possible.
Yeah, we'll get a better feel for that on Wednesday.
Right.
For final plat, that's what they want.
For
Yeah,
final plat, so they have all of those contingencies and then. Yep.
but we still have to review them, so.
Yeah.
And then they go back to plan and board again.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved, thank you very much. 2 meetings in a week.